Back again. I appreciate you guys for joining us on this wonderful Sunday night. As you can see, I have company. What's going on, guys? Introduce yourself.
Walls P from Matter of Opinion.
Erica P, matter of opinion as well.
Right.
Yep.
It's been a little while since we
Yeah.
did a collaboration, you know what I'm saying? But it's all good. It's all love. I'm so happy to have you guys here with me today. We're just going to be kicking it, talking about a number of different stories. So before we get really started, jumping right into it, why don't you tell us about what you guys been up to?
Well, pretty much for the channel, like we totally like trying to bring it in a completely new direction, which was what I envisioned from the jump. And that was a news channel that debate on certain topics. Because you have certain news channels where it's like people who discuss things, where it's two people,
Mm-hmm.
and they both share the same views on the topic. So I was like, yo, there's not really a YouTube channel or a platform where there's a hot topic that dropped and you got two people who are on the opposite sides of the spectrum actually debating on the topic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the direction that we're taking Matter of Opinion. And that was how I originally envisioned it from the jump. So we're getting back to sticking to that formula.
Okay, cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So we definitely have not done a collaboration in a little while.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I attribute that more so to the schedules and whatnot. I know you started a new career. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but
Yeah.
the schedule's crazy.
You talking starting 3 in the morning, sometimes 4 in the morning. It varies, but you talking that 3 in the morning time frame. But it's gonna change. Hopefully, this is the last week of that crazy schedule, and I'm changing into another direction as far as work goes.
Mm.
So that should make it a lot easier as far as like putting out content. Because as you see, I haven't been putting out content as much, and you was like, "Yo, man, what's up with the content?" And I'm
That's
like,
tough.
"Yo, the work schedule is crazy. You talking
Mhm.
12 hours or more, So I'm getting back
Right.
into the swing of things. So this week should be the last week of that, crazy scheduling so we could get back into things.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's the summertime, so policing goes crazy in the summertime. So I've
Oh
just been
yeah.
busy like hell. But this is our first time doing a show and having Erica as a part of the collaboration. Erica, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey, everybody. So I am one part of Matter of Opinion. I did quite a few, videos, most of the education ones, some financial literacy stuff that's in my will.
Yep.
So
And she was mainly behind the scenes, like as far as like the planning and the
Mhm.
research and stuff like that. Like she was a lot behind the scene. But now she's taking the forefront, take the bull by the horns.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So, um, I think something tragic happened today. We're gonna talk about a few things today, but
Hmm.
definitely I think it's important for us to talk about what happened in Chicago. As much as I'd love to show the raw video, I do have the raw video, and if anybody wants to see, go check it out on my Instagram. YouTube will punish me. I've already gotten one channel suspended. I don't want to get the backup channel suspended, so we're gonna play
Yeah.
this news story and see if we get just get jump right into this and figure out what the hell happened. Let's see if we could figure this out.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
know,
know,
right?
right? All right.
Tragic crash has torn families apart. A family member showed up at the scene in tears, too hurtful to say anything after seeing the evidence left behind. We did obtain podcam video that shows the men flying in the air after a car slams into the four men.
We're getting multiple calls, more than one person hit by the car. 71st and Jeffrey.
Jeffrey Street in 71st was littered with dozens of evidence markers next to shoes and pieces of the vehicle's car after a horrific hit-and-run crash.
EMS Plan 1 for multiple victims hit by a car. 71st and Jeffrey.
Dashcam video catches the crash. We've blurred the victims' faces and stopped the video before the four men were hit. You can see several people in the street, and then within seconds, a car bolts through, hitting four men. Chicago police say around 5 this morning, a sedan was traveling southbound in the 7,000 block of South Jeffrey when the driver hit four adult men. The car appeared to be traveling at a high rate of speed.
I took like 3 steps and then
Teresa says she was just talking to one of the victims.
a car came and hit him. He flew over the car and Once he landed, I ran over there like, oh my God.
3 men were taken to the University of Chicago where they were pronounced dead.
Cause he told him don't move, like, cause you could be bleeding internally, and it was, I never seen nothing like that.
The 4th man was transported to Stroger with unknown conditions.
And then I seen another guy laid out, like on his back, eyes open. I walked over to him, and I was like, "Are you okay?"
The hit and run happened outside the Jeffrey Pub, one of the city's longest running LGBTQ bars. They posted on their Facebook page saying, "We always encourage everyone to leave and go to your vehicles right away to make it home safe. And tonight, this happened." A family member posted on social media that a balloon release and a candle vigil will be held at Jeffrey Pub to remember and honor the 3 men who lost their lives. We also checked with the police department, and we do know that the police didn't say if they believe the driver deliberately hit the men in the street. Reporting live in the Grand Crossing neighborhood, Sade Gray, CBS 2 News.
All right, so I'm hearing that there's a possibility that this might have been some type of hate crime. What do you guys think about that?
It
You
it
want to
could.
go first, Eric? Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I feel like it could, especially if you're talking the location of where it was. They might have been patrons that were coming out of that particular bar.
Hmm.
Maybe they were just standing in the street talking, what have you, and from one of the camera angles, it really do look like that car was in middle of the street. Like, I
Mm,
know they were in the middle of the street, clearly, but when you look at some of the different camera angles, you see where there might have been either a car that was parked or a car double parked where this car looked like it drove on the side of it.
mm.
So it do look like it might have intentionally tried to hit those people.
See, I look at it as because it looked like they was in a scuffle outside of that bar or whatever. It looked like they was ready to, fight or whatever the case may be. And in my opinion, when I saw that video, it looked like that driver was trying to be some type of vigilante. Like, yo,
Mm.
you sitting up here causing havoc in my street at the wee hours in the morning, so I'm gonna show all of y'all, and straight ran them over. That's how I perceived it.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely did look like they were having some type of fight,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, though, that witness, she didn't say anything about a fight. And don't get me wrong, we all know that witnesses aren't exactly the most accurate people out there, when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to these situations. But her testimony, as we heard on the news story, was, I was talking to one of the guys, like it was no big deal, and then the car just barreled through them all and killed them. So I don't know, man, but we can't really let anything go past us because it's just crazy times out here.
My
Mm,
question is like, yo, for you to actually run people over like that, yo, that's bananas. Like that takes some type of person to actually full throttle bulge over a group of people like that. Like
that's true.
for me personally, I wouldn't have the heart to do something like that. But
Mm,
yeah, man, it lets you know there's some crazy people in the world, man.
mm.
But you
Now,
also
go ahead.
sorry.
No, go
But
ahead,
you also
Erica.
have to think about it too. If let's say the car's brakes went or something like that, you would have stopped. You would have hit something to make yourself stop. You wouldn't have just kept going. So that's why in my head it's an intentional act because any other person, even if you running over, let's say a cat in the middle of the street, you're gonna stop. You're gonna figure out what happened, what you hit, and you can't tell me you didn't see it was at least multiple people, so it's not like you're going, "Hey, I think I hit something, but I don't know what I hit." You
Mm,
clearly knew you were hitting some kind of target at that point, which would have caused you to stop.
You got to remember too, this is Chicago, so
mm,
he probably was like, "Yo, there's dude over there that I got a problem with. I don't care who I'm gonna hit." There you go.
mm,
So yeah, it was definitely intentional. I agree with that. Definitely intentional.
mm. Well, they don't have much information coming out. I think
Hmm.
the driver's actually still on the lam, still outstanding. Before we go to the next topic, I definitely want to give a shout out to the people in the room. We got Spartacus Rebellion. We've got Rex Wu. I think Rex Wu is viewing from your channel right now. And Rex Wu,
Yeah.
really interesting guy. And we're going to do a collaboration with him soon. Rex, this is to you. I want to save that collaboration when my channel is back up and running.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
really going to be a powerful conversation, and so I want to make sure that it reaches the widest audience possible. We also got Philip and Brusta in the building. Philip, longtime supporter of Strategic Eyes Show. Black Sheepdogs in the building. And that's it. Anybody want to shout out on your channel doing your thing?
Yeah, definitely. I see Rex Wu. My channel, you got a lot of people who view, but they be in the background and just stay
Mhm.
silent. So shout
Mhm.
out to y'all too, who are in the background moving silently. So much love
Mhm.
for you guys too. Oh,
Mhm.
one thing I wanted to ask you too about the topic that we're talking about,
Mhm.
because they said it's hard for them to actually look to see the license plate for that vehicle.
Mhm.
Now, do law enforcement got technology where they can actually like decipher the license plate? Because that vehicle was moving pretty fast and they said they couldn't, with the stills, they couldn't decipher the license plate. So I was wondering, is there like upgraded technology in law enforcement that they could actually possibly pull the license plate number?
As far as the cameras go, no. If they're saying that the footage that they have, which remember, this is probably some surveillance cameras, could be cell phone footage. I think it looked like a dash cam, like somebody had like a GoPro on their car. At
Yeah.
least from the video that I have posted on my Instagram, it looked because the car actually started driving after the people got hit, like a person pulled over. So it might have been like a Uber driver who had
Yeah.
that safety camera in there, or whatever. Though those kind of cameras don't have a lot of high resolution. And when you, especially even if you have like a 4K camera and you just wanted to waste $1,000 on a in-car camera, which is ridiculous, it's still not going to be able to catch a license
Mhm.
plate with a car moving that fast. Now there are ways to track down who or what the who what the car is or the driver or whatever.
Gotcha.
There's something called LPR, which is license plate readers. That car may have gone past a police car in the vicinity, and they might have caught that plate. So, for instance, just not to go on and on about it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
so if you know where the car is coming from, like you can do surveillance and you can track it from cameras from a restaurant, cameras from a residence, cameras from wherever, and you can see, oh, it's coming from eastbound on southbound street. I just made up that street.
Yeah.
You could conceivably check the LPRs in the system for the patrol cars that were in that vicinity. And then
Got you.
you could check and see, okay, how many cars that are in that record are black sedans. Because remember, the car color is registered with the plate and everything. You know what type of car it is, the color is, and everything. That's why you're technically supposed to report to the DMV when you change the color of your car.
Mhm.
Supposed to,
Mm.
right?
Got you.
So now you can whittle that down to, all right, well, we got this car that was patrolling in this area where we believe the car was. We've got 10 cars that are black, and then you take it from there. You know where they live, whatever. All
Mhm.
this happens behind the scene. If you got a black car, you won't even know that the cops rolled by your house to see if it was parked in the front and see if it had damage in it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Got you.
It is
Got
what
you.
it is. You'll never know that they knocked on your neighbor's door like, hey, listen, your neighbor has a black car. Yeah, he does. Have you seen it? Nah, I haven't seen it in like 2 weeks. That's a red flag. It may be
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
sold it,
Yeah.
or it may
Yeah.
be that you're hiding it because it has front end damage because you ran somebody over. So these are the investigative techniques that police use.
Here's another question. Did you actually see because on Twitter they posted it. Did you see the view from the other angle when the car was
Yeah,
actually coming down the street?
I posted both
Okay,
videos,
okay. Okay,
so it's
okay.
definitely on the
Uh,
gram. I
yeah.
really want to show. Like, I hate the censorship stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I feel you.
if people want to see, like, let's show it and then let's have a conversation about it. It sucks, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, really,
Look,
really sucks. You know.
if I'm pretty sure if you didn't have the strike,
Mhm.
it would have
I'd have
been
did it.
fair game. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I can't be adventurous until
I feel
after
you.
November,
I
because
feel
after
you.
November is when my strike disappears.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
so I
yeah.
got to chill, and then after November when that strike disappeared, now I could go crazy again or whatever.
Got you.
So this next video is interesting. So we're gonna go on I'm winging this, guys. Like
Okay.
I'm taking for the audience. I'm taking Matter of Opinion show for a ride right now.
All
I'm just
right,
gonna
all good.
throw stuff at them, right? So right before we were about to go live, this popped up on my Instagram. Now, I subscribe to this young lady by the name of Kendra G. And
Okay.
Kendra G is a radio personality, I think out west or something like that. But she also does like a relationship show on Instagram where people can, Instagram and Facebook, where people can like join her live and basically talk about themselves. And then she's got this
hmm
massive following. She'll say, hey, this is the person's DMs. And then people will hit them up and hopefully that person might find somebody,
Pretty much
right?
a dating show.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want there's very important questions we're gonna ask ourselves,
Okay.
but I think it's better if we just jump in and just watch this segment. All right. So let me pull this up. Get some
How
sound.
are you? Oh my god, I'm
Hey, what's your name, babe?
so my name is Ora.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Say what?
My
Hello?
name is Ora.
Your name is what?
Orem.
Orem. Where you calling us from?
Yes. Sorry?
Where you calling us from?
So I'm currently in Chicago, but I'm from South Africa.
You're from South Africa. Okay. Do you live in Chicago or are you visiting?
I currently moved here. I got a scholarship to a university here.
Okay. How old are you?
So I'm 21.
20. Oh, you just turned. When's your birthday?
It's the 12th of March, 2000.
Okay. So Orem, right?
Yes.
Orem, Chicago, 21. So are you a student? Is that your job?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm currently a student, but I also like work part-time as well. So I'm just so shocked. Like, I didn't think you'd pick me, and I love you so much. Like, it's so crazy. But, yeah.
So do you live by yourself?
I'm currently in a hotel before I go to school, yeah. But I do.
You're in a hotel? You live in a hotel now?
Yes, currently, until I get to school, and then I have my own little off-campus thingy-majiggy. Yeah.
Okay. All right, this is Orem, Chicago, 21, a student. When's your birthday or zodiac sign?
So I'm a Pisces, the 12th of March.
Pisces. You have any children?
I do not.
No kids. Okay.
No.
How you guys feel about that so far? Like, what are you thinking?
For me, I don't know. She seemed off.
What do you think? What's off about her?
Like
What do you say that? Why do you say that for?
it's kind of like I don't know. Maybe if it's her accent or something like that. But
Mhm.
the way she's coming off, maybe she's surprised or something like that. But she just seems weird to me. I don't know. She just seems weird.
Okay.
So yeah.
Let's keep going.
None at all. Oh my God.
Okay, who are you looking for tonight, baby?
So, I want a man, girl. I want a man. Like, I know I'm young and people say, no, have your fun. But I'm not about that. Like, I genuinely just want, a man to add value to my life, to be honest.
All right, hold on. She's saying she want a man, but we gotta slow that down real quick because people are saying in the chat that you're echoing, Wally. So
I am.
please make sure that you if you have that echo function, put it down.
I don't actually. I guess when during the video's playing, it might be echoing. That might be the thing. I don't know.
All right, well, we'll work it out. We got A-Lady in the building. She coming from me already. We love you, A-Lady. All right, let's keep going.
Honest, I want a man to add value to my life. Someone I can make memories with. And have great. Sorry, fuck your comments. But yeah, just someone to add value to my life. Someone I can live life with. Yeah, I mean that's mostly it.
Okay, what's some deal breakers for you?
So I'm like super tall. So like he better be tall too.
How tall are you?
I'm like 5'11".
5'11". Okay.
Yeah, so he better be tall. He better be super tall. Not super tall.
They told me to ask you, how are you 21 and you were born in 2000?
I'm 22. I just said 21. I'm 22, but yeah, I'm 22. Sorry.
Why'd you say you were 21 if you're 22?
It was the first thing. I'm so sorry. I'm so nervous. It was like the first thing that came to my head, so I just said 20, 21, but I'm 22. I just turned 22.
The comment people are listen. A lot of times because I'm zoned out. I'm not really checking to see if you're saying if it's a factual or not. But the comments who are the unofficial co-hosts, they always gonna figure out a lie.
I know. I've been watching your show, girl. I'm just so nervous. I really didn't think you're gonna pick me. So like, I'm just hella nervous. I see them, but
okay. So you guys are correct. She's 22.
Yeah.
All right. So I think was I asking your deal breakers?
So yeah, my deal breakers. I'd like him to be tall.
All right, so we could listen to this for 1,000 years. I think it might be almost done, but I'm gonna break it down to you guys while we're watching this. This lady is transgender. It's not a thing.
Wow.
And I think why I wanted to have a debate on this is not because she's transgender. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. At least in my opinion. You guys are a matter of opinion. You can have your own opinion.
Okay.
But my issue is that she does not tell anybody that she's transgender.
That is a problem.
And this is a dating show. And so now you're going to have hundreds, maybe thousands of men, because it's the internet. And Kendra has a very, very big following, hitting this woman up. Notice I call her woman because I respect. They're hitting this woman up, looking for love, but she may not have what they're looking for. What do you guys think about that?
I am all for transparency.
Hold on, you're echoing too. You might have to stop sharing the screen for seconds, Siege.
I mean, the thing is, y'all sound good over on my end, but all right, no doubt. Let me bring that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, is that better?
Yeah. Because I noticed that tends to happen when you're sharing a screen. But go on.
Okay, so I am all for transparency. Like, I have no problem with you being on a dating, app, show, whatever it is called. But I need you to tell me what you are, because I do not want to be surprised. I do not want to show up and then I'm thinking I'm going to be with a woman and I'm with someone who don't have all the parts of a woman, and vice versa, because you have men that look that way as well. So I want to know what I'm getting myself into.
All right, so but go ahead. You tell me what you think it matter, because then I want to read a comment for you guys.
For me, I'm just saying, like, transparency is the key, because that's one of the biggest issues that people have when it comes to transgender. Be open about it, because not for nothing, like, you could mess around with the wrong one and it's gonna be a big misunderstanding, unfortunately. So you gotta be open with that person so that they know exactly what they're getting into. So yeah, man, like, I look at that as that's like a cardinal sin to me. Like, say from the jump so that the person get no surprises and know exactly what they're getting into.
See, because this really is an important conversation, because there's a lot of people within the movement who don't believe, not all, who don't believe that a trans woman should have to tell a man that she's trans right away. Like, but let me read this comment for you, because the rabbit hole gets deeper. So this guy, Mr. Jerome Trammell, says she's a beautiful woman. I don't think she was necessarily trying to hide it, especially when it's posted in her Instagram bio. Mind you, people check the Instagram bio and it's not there. All right. I also think trans women should not have to disclose they're trans unless they want to. That could be a safety concern and open them up to violence. When men slide in DMs and they start to have conversations, they typically a better time to disclose because it's more private. Just like men don't disclose they are really broke, homeless, or abusive when they come on. Got a blast. What do you think about that comment?
I understand where that comment is coming from, but see, the problem is if it's too many gray areas now, because I'm not on the dating scene right now, but if I was, those are things that I need to know up front. I don't know if I want, a girl or a guy looking girl or a guy. So I'm like, I need to be the person that's ultimately making those decisions on who I choose to date because there are too many options at this point.
Right.
So I feel like for me, yes, after I go, hi, my name is Erica and I'm so and so years old and I got
Mhm.
kids and I need you to, those got to be some of the questions because I'm research queen. So I'm going to look
Mm.
you up.
Mm.
Unfortunately, I worked in banking in a
Mhm.
former life. So those are things that I look when I'm like, all right, I think I'm feeling this person. Let me look them up. Let me see what's going on. But
Right.
I feel like those are the gray areas now that I didn't have to worry about when I was dating early on because it like you knew they were out there, but they had a whole scene for themselves. And now I feel like that scene is no longer that scene. It's everywhere. So because it's everywhere, I feel like those are some of those questions you need to ask. And it's like if I don't ask the right question, am I not going to get the right answer?
Mm. Mm.
Which may be a
Mm.
problem.
See, for me, oh, are you done? My bad.
Yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh, nah, for me, I believe all the cards should be laid out. If you got kids, lay it out. If you was in a relationship where you abused the person or it was like a lot of domestic violence, I believe you should lay it out. Now, just because you lay those things out doesn't mean that that's going to transfer all over to that relationship, so to speak. But telling somebody that you're a trans, there's no that may carry over to the net. No, that's what it is. So that's why I'm like, I understand that comment, but it's like those things that person was referring to in the comments, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to trans over to the next situation. You could have,
Mhm.
yeah, you could have gotten to a domestic dispute or domestic violence with your ex, but it doesn't mean that me and you are going to get into a domestic violence situation. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying? But yeah, as far as that goes, nah, you got to let that be known because, like I said, that's something that no matter what is getting transferred over to the next person.
Yeah, I mean, it starts to beg the question of how far are you willing to go before you are transparent, and was is there a difference between respect and deception? At what point does it become I'm respecting myself and I want you to respect who I am, and then at what point does that translate into me feeling deceived by who I thought you would be? Does that make any sense to you
Yeah,
guys?
it does.
Because
But you know
I've
what?
heard prominent, and sorry, Erica, I'll give you the
Yeah.
floor in 1 second. I've heard prominent influencers on YouTube. We're talking about half a million who've said they've gone kissing to blowjobs without letting the person know who they are. And these are mainstream people with sponsors and lots of money, who probably would have no issue finding willing people, especially because of their fame. You understand? But yet, it's almost like a game where it's like, I'm going to see how far I can go without passing. How far can I pass? What do you think about that?
I don't want
Well,
to,
and
Erica. Let me
that's what I
let
was.
you.
Go ahead.
Could I just say one thing real
Go ahead.
quick, and then it's yours?
Hmm.
Me personally, I see it no different. Somebody people might chop my head off for this, but I see it no different as supposed to if you're saying that like if a person has an STD or something like that, you should tell that other person about that STD, not playing games with it. Like
Mm.
that's not something that you should play games with and see how far you can go with it. Where, well, if they use protection, then they won't catch nothing or whatever. No, you should let that be known. I view it no different for that as opposed to you telling somebody exactly what it is. Like that's how I view it.
Yeah, I agree. What's up, Erica?
Yeah.
Well, and I was gonna say something similar. For me, it's those games that get people hurt. It's those games that have people, you know, go from one extreme to the other. Because my thing is, I don't know if you're playing a game or not. That's a form for me. That's a form of catfishing. I feel
Mm.
like if you're in a dating scene, you're supposed to be open and honest. And I get it. People blur the lines, but in something like that, you cannot blur the lines. And the reason for that is I may like you if I knew what you were.
Mm,
But you took that choice away from me. And if you
right.
took that choice away from me, guess what? There's no coming back from that. So I'd
Hmm.
rather you just lay your cards out on the table. And if I choose to deal with you, I choose to deal with you. If I
Right.
don't, you go find somebody who wants to deal with you. Because
Mm,
guess what? That's the same way, me being a chubby person. You got people that might look at me and be like, yeah, I don't deal with your body size. And guess what? That's your choice to say
mm,
you don't want to deal with somebody my size. It's the
mm,
same way. I feel like if you're transgender, you
mm,
have to date people that want to date people that are transgender. There are people that are out there that want that. But if
mm,
that's not what I choose, don't trick me into it. You might
And
be a
you
cool person, we could be besties, but
mm,
that don't mean I wanna sleep with you.
and you know what? There's a lot of people that are actually into, transgenders.
mhm,
There's a lot of people that are into transgenders, so that's why I'm not
mm,
understanding what is the point of actually playing these type of games. Now I get it. You might get some
mhm,
people who are on some, hey, I don't want to say nothing now, so
mm,
maybe if they see the real side of me, they might look past it, yada yada. I
mm,
get that because you get situations where people will be like, yo, they scared to tell that other person something because they feel it might turn them away.
mhm. Right.
But this is something I feel like people should know what they're getting
Right.
into, you know.
I mean, I I definitely agree with you that full disclosure should probably be the way to go. The chat agrees with you as well. A lady says, "Never thought about it that way." Matter. She said, "I think I agree with you at Matter Opinion. Never thought of it like that." And I also like the comment that Miss Erica said. She said,
Mhm.
Miss Brown from the chat, not Erica over here, Matter
Yeah.
Opinion. She said, "That's a stupid comment. How you going to compare a man not telling you that he's homeless to a woman not telling you she got a enos?" But I want to
Yeah.
definitely make this point though. This is not something that's happening across that entire community.
Nah.
This is not a
It's not.
reflection of every single person inside of the LGBT, or rather, we're talking about just the trans community. We're not even talking about any other part of the LGBTQIA community. So this is an outlier. Most individuals will not disrespect you in that manner, and definitely don't want somebody watching this show to assume that that's what we're trying to portray out there.
Hmm.
All right, wow.
Facts.
But
Yeah.
I
But I,
got you one
mhm,
better too.
mhm,
So, okay, so I have friends everywhere. So
mhm,
I have gone to clubs and, by talking to different people and mingling and stuff, there are quite a few transgender people that I ran into on that scene when I was younger. I used to be a chubby model for a split second and,
mhm,
love getting my hair done.
mhm,
So I can remember doing hair shows and I can remember, when this was starting to become popular. Most of the transgender women that I knew, they said off the bat they felt more comfortable telling people. And the
mm,
reason for that is you had some that really like just really legitly passed really, really great. And
mhm.
it's those that fear for their lives because you start drinking, you don't know. And it's like, nah, let me keep telling you before we
Yeah.
walk out of here to
Mhm,
make sure because those are the ones who unfortunately have those types of domestic violence situations more
mm.
often than not. It's the
And
ones
I
that look a little more manly. You'd be like,
mhm.
okay.
And I could see that because you, like you said, you're getting drunk, you're having a good time. It's most often the guy that makes the first move. So you're just getting
Yeah.
drunk, talking to this person, and he thinks you're into him, and now you're both drunk, and now he's trying to tongue you down, and you didn't even ask for it.
Mhm.
If he
Hmm.
does, and now he finds out that he just tongued down another guy, in his mind, not to disrespect anybody in the
Yeah.
community, that could spell some trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Versus, hey, can I buy you a drink? Sure, but I want you to understand this is the situation.
See, in a situation like that, that falls on that guy's shoulders. Like that's his fault. You took the actions of actually going to want to kiss this woman. So why are you going to get mad for the results of it? You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
that was your ultimate choice. Like you said, she didn't ask for it. You went and did it. So
yeah, but is that going to translate into that person taking ownership, or are they going to? Is the person's life still not in danger?
It is in danger,
Their
but I'm
life is
just
still in
saying,
danger.
yeah,
It's his fault,
definitely,
yeah, but he's
definitely,
not gonna
definitely.
own up to it. He's gonna say, "Oh, you tricked me."
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Deflect. He's gonna deflect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. You guys got anything else on this, or you ready to go to the next topic?
I'm okay. We go to the next one.
All right, so we're gonna talk about the Francois Littlejohn situation, and I'm gonna actually play because I didn't get in trouble for playing. No, yeah, I'm gonna play it off of my show because I actually censored out the kids' faces. All
Okay.
right,
Okay.
and then we want to talk about this because I got a lot of interesting comments in the comment section about this one, and it really perplexed me and surprised me why certain people were willing to put their neck out for this guy. Let me bring this up. Let's do it.
Hey, this shit's so fun. Look at my son right here. I just told him I'm finna kill his ass. You hear me? That's fucking fucked up, cuz, on my soul, nigga. But see, everybody think I'm joking, right? I'm playing, right? Everybody think I'm fucking playing, right? Right, okay. This gonna be the last time. This be the last video I make. Nigga, God rest my soul. Wook, Ovia Foreman, you are responsible for your part in this too. You chose to be a destroyer, right? It's okay, fine. You hold this. Take this with you. Tater, wow. Wow! Wow, nigga! After everything I gave you, cuz. After everything, all I wanted was a conversation, nigga. I told you, nigga. All you had to do was talk to me, nigga. All I wanted was conversation. That's it. I wanted you to be woman enough to look me in my fucking eyes, nigga.
I just want to stop it right here real quick. Like the way he's talking, I legitimately thought he was talking to a man.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what kind of nickname for a female is Tater? And then he's like calling her the N-word. There was no feminine pronouns in anything that he said throughout this entire conversation until he said, like, "Oh, I wanted you to talk to me like a female." Like this guy, but the level of ignorance on this fool is bananas. Let's keep going.
13 years of my life, nigga, I'm giving to you. Nigga, and cut me loose. Look me in my face and break me loose, nigga. Look, break my heart. Look me in my eyes and break my heart, nigga.
All right. One more thing, and I'm just going to point some things out, and we're going to talk. I'm so sorry. But when he says all he wanted was for her to talk to him in his face, he just killed his kid and then killed himself. Do we really think that he would have just had a conversation with her, let her cut him loose, and then everybody just go on with their life?
Not at all.
Not at all.
He'd have killed her. Okay, and that's one of the things that was said in the comment section, but I'm bringing it up now because it's not the most important thing for us to discuss. But people were literally, there were like one or two people saying that she was a coward, that she did not talk to him face to face. Let's keep going.
But you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. You want to go lay up with niggas and get fucked and nigga, whatever the case. You're slick, my nigga. You lied, my nigga. You're a habitual cheater, my nigga. And you have given yourself to men. You have given me STD behind this shit. Like, I'm not paranoid, cuz. You hear me? You fucked other niggas recklessly. I forgave you for it. You won't even come home, baby. You won't even come home like I'm a sucker. So watch this, Gayla. Watch
Said
this.
he's a sucker.
Yeah. And carry this torch, baby. And no, I gave you a choice, and you chose this. Oh, you're so scared, right? Okay.
Strategic back again. All right, you guys don't need to see my beautiful forehead. All right, this is just ridiculous. I'm sorry. Let me get this out of here. This is ridiculous. So, guys were defending him. They were saying, "Listen, killing kids is not the way to go," but she was a cheater. She was this. She was that. Why are you calling him a simp beta male? What do you guys think about that? Was I wrong for classifying this guy as simp beta male?
Absolutely not. You are a simp because you said this woman was doing all these things, you know, infidelity and all this stuff, and you still stuck around. You still hung on. So yeah, you're a simp. You basically tried to gain her approval by any measure, and she still was dogging you out. That's a simp. You're not an alpha male who. No, what you got to say?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, you're not an alpha male who's basically taking the bulls by the horn and guiding the ship and everything like that. No, you're a simp, and the fact that you actually went to the breaking point where you actually ended these innocent children life in your own life, not only a simp, you're a piece of garbage too, a piece of trash for your actions. So
Mm.
for me, I personally agree with you on the fact that he's a simp. Like, there's no other way you can slice it on that
What do
aspect.
you, what do you think, Erica?
I was thinking something similar. Yeah. So I felt like you already put it out there that she was dibbling and dabbling outside. So what do you think somebody's gonna do? You have a choice. You either stay with that person that's doing you dirty or you move on. You never really moved on. So in my eyes, yes, that is a simp. You took the coward way out because you killed yourself and you killed some kids, but you never healed from the trauma that she was putting you through. You
Mm,
never tried to move on because you were just taking any little bit that she was giving you.
mm. Now, when I called him a simp and a beta male, I was, and I agree with you guys 100%. You guys are 100% correct. But I was looking at it from a slightly different angle. I called him a simp because he loved her more than he loved himself. And I'm not even saying that that's a healthy love. It could have been a sick, twisted, and demented love. But he cared more about her being with him than he cared about himself and even his children.
That's true.
Think about it. I'm killing these kids so you could carry that torch.
Yeah.
You need to carry that torch. This is because of you. You did this. He's using the kids as a tool to hurt her because she matters more than the kids and she matters more than him. I'm going to kill my kids. I'm going to kill myself and leave you with nothing because you're the most important person in the world. And I want you, therefore, to feel the most pain as anybody else in the world. I called him a beta male because the same lane. You don't love yourself. You keep taking allegedly what she's dishing out. But I want to take it in even another direction. I don't even believe anything he's saying. Do you know how many abusers I've experienced in my professional life who will lie to disparage the name and the honor of the woman? It's mostly guys that do it. Just because he's saying it with a straight face doesn't mean it's real. Remember the guy who killed his kids? He was a nurse
Hmm.
and he said all those things, and we find out that none of those things was real. He was just a really abusive guy, and the women got away from him. But he said all those terrible things about the baby mama to justify the fact he was about to kill his own kids. It's the same thing. Dudes do it all the time. He's saying all the things she did to him, all the things she gave him, all this extra stuff. Why should we believe what he's saying, considering the lengths he was willing to go to cause her pain? If he's willing to kill their kids to cause her pain, what's to stop him from doing the least invasive thing, which is to make false allegations against her to cause her pain? And then we also have to take in the fact, not to own the floor, my apologies,
No, it's
that
good.
God knows what the real dynamics of their relationship was. Maybe she broke up with him when she allegedly saw these guys. Maybe she's been wanting to break up with him, but he would cry and grovel and she'd feel bad for him and take him back, but her heart wasn't really in it. So us on the outside looking in might say, oh, she's a cheater. But if you really were a part of that situation, you'd understand that she's miserable. She's not happy. She doesn't want to be with him, but she's feels guilt ridden to stay with him. What do you guys think about that?
You gotta think about it. Sometimes you have people who just don't get it. I could tell you I don't want to be with you 20 times.
Mm,
And then I could tell you 20 more and it just don't process. You have
mm,
people that go through that all the time too. They didn't
Yeah,
move out the house. They didn't, started new careers. They didn't move cross country, and these people follow them
mm.
but
just because in their mind they don't think they don't want to give them up.
do
Mm.
you do you cater that to having a mental health issue, or the person just like having, I don't want to say low self esteem, but like no sense of pride, so to speak.
I don't even think it's that. To be honest, I think it's the fact that some people do not learn what relationships really are and don't know how to process through them.
Mm,
So I feel like that triggers a lot too. If you grew up and you did not know what healthy relationships are and didn't know how to effectively set boundaries, that translates into some of these relationships. So I don't believe it's always a mental health issue. I believe it's a coping mechanism. I believe
mm,
it's not knowing when enough is enough. And sometimes that's based off of how they were raised.
mm. Yeah, I think we kind of we rely on that mental health diagnosis as a crutch too much as a society. You know, some people just have personality defects. Some people just don't know how to cope in the world. You know, some people just don't care how other people feel. They only care about their own gratification. And I think we see that a lot in these domestic violence cases. It's not that these guys are mentally ill, it's just, they just don't care, you know? And I think we got to get to that moment where we start acknowledging that, because when we start acknowledging that, maybe we can start holding people accountable and start saving lives.
The reason why I asked the question of mental health is because
Mhm.
it take a certain somebody to actually kill themselves. You got to have like a loose screw to actually end yourself. You get what
Do
I'm
you really,
saying?
though? Do you really? I mean, think about it. In other countries, you can kill yourself legally. You can go to a clinic and get it done. You know, is somebody who is suffering from a debilitating disease or injury, are
But
they mentally ill if they decide to end themselves?
but isn't that somebody else injecting them, so to speak? They're not literally doing it themselves. You get what I'm saying?
But I think once you get to that point, it doesn't matter. You know, somebody injecting you and it's gonna, a gun to your head is instantaneous. You feel no pain. There's no pain. Even if you see the person gasping, I mean, I don't know. I'm not the dead person whisperer, but I mean, I'd imagine your body is in so much shock. You don't even process the pain. Just like if you're in a fight and you break your hand on somebody's jaw, you're not stopping the fight like, oh my God, I broke my hand. You don't even feel it till after the fight is over, you know, because of that adrenaline. So I don't know, and you may be right, but I don't know if that matters. I think once you've mentally prepared
Checked
yourself
out.
from it and said, all right, this is the solution. This is the grand solution. I don't think it matters how. I think the fact that we live in a civilized society, at least some places in the world, that they can actually go and have somebody else do it for them, they avail themselves of that. But if you remove that, then they
Mhm.
just do what they've been doing since the beginning of time. They'll dispatch themselves.
You know what I gotta look at? Because I'm comparing it to like thinking for me times where I could be like, "Yo, man, when I see that mother effer, I'ma beat him down." Right there in the heat of the moment, I may be pissed off, but then when reality sets in, it's like, nah, come on, man, it ain't even worth it. You get what I'm saying? So I'm
Mm,
thinking to myself, like, dag, like, could it be a mental health issue? Because any person in their right or left mind, eventually they'll come like calm themselves down and reality will actually set in, so to
mm,
speak. So that's why, like, I'd be like, is it a mental health issue, so to speak?
mm,
Because a normal person will eventually calm down and come to their senses, so to speak.
mm,
So that's why I was posing those questions. You feel me?
mm.
But you also
Absolutely.
got to think about it. People who are depressed get like that too.
Mhm.
Because think about it, different things can trigger depression. So you got, women go through that after childbirth. You got guys who, if they go through something traumatic, maybe something, I don't know, like, you can't always blame it on mental health because that, they don't really consider depression a form of mental health. It's, you know, something that could lead to mental health. But yeah, being depressed can cause suicidal thoughts, can
Hmm.
have you thinking things are different. So it's like, okay, you could look at it on a depressed wave too.
Mm,
Or you could just really be mad at that person. Yo, I'm really that mad and now I'm seeing red. And now I'm on an
mm,
episode of Snapped. Like,
No, I agree with both of you. I agree with both of you 100%. I was just looking at it at that dynamic, so to speak, where it's like, the heck, shouldn't you come down to earth after like you start to calm your nerves down? That's all that I was saying. But I agree with you because we do hang on the crutch of chucking everything up to a mental health issue. I'm starting to see that a lot where that's all we're doing as a society. It's like, oh, he had a mental health issue. She had a mental health issue for every little thing. So
my
yeah, I
son just
agree
woke
with
up.
you.
You guys chop it up for a second. Let me deal with my son real quick.
All right, no problem.
So
But
oh boy.
yeah, that's kind of like the video that we watched about the Chinese guy who was being poisoned by his wife with drink by she was putting Drano and his drink. You remember that, Erica?
Yeah, I remember that one.
The question I have about that is why did he not leave her prior to that? Because it said like in the news feed, like it was like, whenever like the children couldn't show that they were having fun with him, if they did, she would take them in the room and scold them and all of this stuff. Like leading up to that, the report was basically saying it was a lot of negative things that was going on.
Wait,
And it
what are you guys
wasn't
talking about real quick?
we're talking about the Asian family who was
Okay, got you.
the husband was, being killed slowly with the Drano. So
Right,
it's
got
like all those events that was happening prior to that with her scolding the children when the children saying they're having fun with him and all of this stuff, all these events that were happening. And then when you find out about the Drano and everything like that, now you want to divorce her. Why didn't you divorce her prior to that if it was such a toxic situation?
Wait. I don't mean to be jumping into it, but I'm not feeling it what you say. But go ahead, Erica. I'm gonna jump in when you're done.
Okay, go ahead.
What I was going to say is sometimes people don't always see it. You got to think about it. They were doctors. In my head, no, I'm not thinking my spouse is trying to poison me. This is the person that I love. This is the person that I chose to have kids with. So no, in my head, not until I saw the video and was like, wait, she's really pouring adrenal? Like that's at that point it's like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you with me. I don't trust you with the kids. If you put Adrenal in my lemonade, what are you doing to the kids when I'm not around? No, you
No,
gotta go
but
now.
I'm talking about the stuff prior to that, like where
But that's
he's
the
like,
thing though. A
Yeah,
lot of
but
yeah,
you
times you don't see those prior things. It's the last straw that you're like,
and
yo, I
right,
gotta go.
right.
then you put
But
everything together.
even if he saw it, you also got to look at it from an economic standpoint. There's a lot of money between them. A lot of times people stay together for economics.
Yeah.
He might be saying, I'll be financially ruined. You don't know what investments they've shared, what properties they have. There's just a lot of things with that. Also, sometimes I don't want to say it, but your lover, your spouse might have little weird things about them that you've grown accustomed to. That it's like, hey, that's just who they are. That's how they get down. That is a part of love too, accepting people for their flaws. But you got to also think. But I think most likely it lies along the line of the economics, because these are very, very rich people. Okay, they're not Bill Gates rich, but they're upper middle class, upper crust of society rich, because they're both pulling in probably $300,000-$400,000 a year. But my biggest issue with this situation is, why is it that when the news talks about it, they say they're contemplating charges? See, she was arrested because the cops arrest her, but the DA has not filed formal charges against her. There's a chance that the DA may say, we choose not to move forward, and she'll get her bail money back, and then her record is wiped clean. Why is that? How is that
Yeah.
possible?
But to me, that should not be possible though. My thing is, if I'm the spouse, you gonna be mad because I'm pressing charges on you. I don't care that we married. You tried to kill me. I got
But he is pressing
ulcers.
charges.
You
He's
know,
pressing charges.
but
It's the
that's the thing
DA.
though. I feel like everybody needs to be on my side. Why are you trying to protect her? I feel like they trying to protect her because now maybe it's a mental issue. It ain't a mental issue when she was trying to kill me. Now I
Right.
need you to figure out how to make her stay in here.
To
Because
me, to me, it's crazy though, because it's like we hear in a lot of cases where you have situations where the significant other don't want to press the charges, but the state or the DA already pick it up, and it's like, now we're gonna press these charges. You get what I'm saying? So it's like,
Right.
why in this case, all of a sudden, the DA is hesitant to to move forward with it? That
Right.
makes no sense to me.
But
I
you
don't.
have to look at
Yeah,
all
I
of
don't
the other
know.
factors though. So think about it. You got to look at the stuff itself. He put cameras in the house. So it's like, okay, this is my house. I didn't give her consent. So think about it. She's not
He
consenting
doesn't need
to
consent. He
that.
doesn't need consent. Legally, he doesn't need consent. I think what the hang up might be is how do we prove that it was Drano that was actually in the
Correct.
bottle?
And that was
Who
the only
started?
I was gonna say. Think about it. People
Mhm,
use other bottles for other stuff. I'm not gonna be using a Drano bottle, but
mm,
about it. I go buy a bottle of lemonade. My container
mm,
breaks. What am I going to do? I'm gonna pour the lemonade into whatever container I have available. You go
mm,
to in my case, we go to family houses. They got the margarine container because it's a nice thick container. You open it up,
mm,
it's not margarine. You're like, why do I have rice and peas in this container? So you see that
right.
happening all the time. The problem is, it's like, okay, did y'all take that Drano bottle? Did you test it? Did you make sure
Mm,
it was Drano when
mm,
she did it? She could have stored it. Think about it. She might have said, "Hey, it's just some sugar in this," and I was just putting some sugar in here. So that's why I'm like,
mm,
you. Those are things. It's too up in the air because you haven't tested that product, or maybe you did take it to test it and the lab results ain't come back yet. So yes,
mm.
that's one. Two, I'm like, I feel like in any case, he has his medical records that he's being poisoned slowly. He has a
Well,
history of it. So now it's like, okay, you got his medical records.
mhm,
He obviously was seeking some help, but think about it. How many cases do people not go seek the help? I could be feeling sick and he'd be like, you know what? I'll go in 2 weeks. And 2 weeks come and then be like, all right, I'll go in 4 weeks. He
mhm,
actually said, yo, I'm not feeling great. Let me go get seen. So then it's like, okay, well, how long have you been feeling like that? Okay, so now it's starting to make me question some other
Here,
things that's going on in the house.
here's the question I have: is does the effects of the Drano cause, like, is that a direct correlation to the symptoms that he was having? That's the
yeah, I mean,
question.
we're talking
Yeah.
about ulcers, which is
Yeah.
basically burning,
Hmm.
holes inside your digestive tract. That would be a result of drinking acid. But did they do a toxicology? Because you can also naturally develop ulcers. I just want to say something real quick. A lady brought up a good point. It's not exactly what her comment is. I'll read her comment, but it made me think of something. A lady says black people are more likely to leave a toxic relationship than other ethnicities. And that's a really good point because on a larger point, other ethnicities and cultures also have different stigmas about leaving marriages and relationships. So
Hmm.
these are Asian folks, and if we know anything about Asian culture, they're big on family, big on keeping marriages together, and familiar honor systems, as well as respecting their elders. So for him, it may not have been an option without a life and death situation to say, all right, you know what, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Let me
That's true.
leave.
That's
So
true.
Plus, you
it's a
got to
really
think
good
of their
point.
community too. You don't want to be shunned in the community that supports you as a doctor either,
Hmm.
because that's
Hmm.
clientele that you'll no longer have. That's,
Hmm.
events that you normally go to, now you can't go to them because a lot of times those communities are tight knit. So now you're going to be the outcast. You don't want to go from being in the in crowd to being in the out crowd either.
Right.
That's family support you no longer have. Because think about it, a lot of times when they get divorced or they separate, the family shun you. And then you're
Yeah.
cut off from that world too.
Right. Right.
That is true. Yeah.
Rex, what are you talking about? He said IMB4 strategic gets banned by YouTube again. What does that mean? I'm so slow.
I
Like,
don't know. I don't
look,
either. Yeah.
it's like these young folks, they got like all these slangs, and I'm like, damn, man, like I'm really starting to see my age approaching me. And this like this is supposed to be my world. Like my age range, that almost 40. We kind of like the pioneers of the internet. We was on AOL, we was in the chat rooms and all that stuff.
It don't
You
matter.
know,
That stuff to change so much.
and
I wouldn't even
yeah,
be able to
it's
tell
like
you what to do with half of it at this point.
like I
Yeah.
don't even abbreviate. If you guys really like notice, like when I respond on the online, I don't abbreviate. I
No
write like
shorthand.
I'm
Put
in
words
English
out there.
Yeah.
class. Yeah, just like, hello, how are you doing
Yeah.
today?
Don't give
So
me
T-
the IDK. I don't know what this means.
I think my only abbreviation is U. As for, instead of putting YOU, it's just U, the letter U. That's
I
it.
don't even do that. I get guilty. I feel guilty when I do that. So T Williams, he works with the kids. He's a teacher, so he translated. He said, "In before strategic gets banned again." I would have never figured that out, man. It's like charades when these young folks is writing INB4.
Yeah.
Sorry, my brain is not Wyatt.
Even like decipher. I don't know. I give up.
It's like
What's the
World
correct
War
answer?
II
What is
codes,
the
man.
correct answer?
Jesus Christ. So I got another one for you guys, and this will be our final one because it will probably be talking about it for like 30 minutes. This is an interesting one. This is an interaction between an African American cop and an African American couple.
Oh,
And you guys know about this
I
one,
already
right?
know it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Know
because
this
we was
one.
gonna
We're gonna talk about that.
cover it. Yeah, but go ahead.
I
This is
mean,
interesting.
you still
Nah,
could
go
cover
ahead.
it.
Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the internet went crazy about, coonery and all that stuff. The cop is a coon and he's a sellout and all that stuff. And then the truth came out. So let's take a look and see if we can
Before
figure
you
this
go
out.
too, the crazy part is
Mhm.
people
listening.
have. I'm echoing, I think.
Let me take it off. Go ahead.
Yeah, people were quick to judge when the first video that came out was
Mhm.
their video as opposed to the body cam.
Right.
And Erica, when that video came out and we was going to talk about it, what did I say? Let's see what the body cam says before we even judge this.
Right.
Yeah. So go ahead.
And in full disclosure, the sister wrote a whole paragraph before she posted her edited video about how her sister was abused and this, that, and the third, and she's a good person, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when we're done with the video, because I don't like doing gotchas. I like to throw it all out there.
Yeah.
I got a problem with her boyfriend, paramour, whoever this guy is, one night stand, intimate date. I don't care. I got a problem with him because he didn't do enough to de-escalate this situation. But after it was over, he had a whole lot to say. But let's jump in there and let's see what's going on.
Are you gonna sign it?
No, because I want your badge number.
That's fine.
Big shout out to Long Crown for posting this.
All right, sir, like I explained to you, you can't be in the park at night.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just paraphrase real quick because we're not gonna sit here and watch this whole 16-minute video. All right. They have a big problem with crime in Atlanta. Big problem, crime in Atlanta. Their criminal justice system is whacked. You kill people, you get out. Like, even in some of the most liberal parts of America, you shoot somebody, you kill them, you got to stay in prison. In Atlanta, they are letting them out on bail. And a lot of these folks in Atlanta have money. So a lot of these murderers, they have friends with contacts, they're getting out. So they have sent the cops out there to do what's called quality of life initiatives. Make sure nobody's in the park, maybe nobody's drinking, all the things that lead to crime, right? So this cop comes in, he sees them in the park. They're there after the closing time. He's just giving them a civil citation. It's not a criminal record. If they don't pay it, they'll get collections calling them like, hey, pay the money, pay the money, pay the money. They go for a job, it will not be on their record. All right, let's see what's happening.
Just receive a simple ticket stating that you was in the park after hours. All right, need you to sign right on that.
What am I signing over? Is it a charge or anything, or is it
Just a ticket?
Pause it real quick. And one thing I noticed the internet was saying was a citation is different from a ticket. They're pretty much the same thing.
Mhm.
And if you don't sign a citation or ticket, that's up to you. You have the right to. Officer also has the right to arrest you.
Right. Absolutely. Basically, if you don't sign it, it's arrestable. You do have the option not to do it, but you better be willing to go in handcuffs. All right? Let's keep going.
And I have to sign it?
You can not sign it and go to jail. It's this one here. This one here.
All right. like if we're gonna do like if you need to do commentary, just
Yeah.
tell me so I could go off because then
I
it
got you.
echoes.
Yeah, the
So
echo.
I just want to say this one thing is he asked him what you just said. Do I have to sign it? He said, you don't have to, but then you'll go to jail. So I think he's
Fact,
pretty
yeah.
clear about that.
Alright, that's your license. Copy of citation. You have any questions? That's what it is. Alright. Come over here for me, ma'am.
Uh-oh.
Can you come here, ma'am? Alright, so you're gonna receive a ticket for being in the park after hours. Alright? Just need to sign right here on the X.
But because we're out of, didn't you say we were out of time, so we wouldn't have known that?
Yeah, but that's
not an
not a
excuse.
reason why you should be in the park because you're from out of town.
What's your back number?
7452.
Pause it real quick.
Yeah.
What people don't realize is this cop gave them a lot of leeway because the fact that
Yes.
she able to walk away to go to her car, he doesn't know what she can grab her from her car.
I was
Right.
about
So
to say
right,
the same thing.
yeah. So
I'm like,
right
she just
there,
dipped off in the
right
middle
there.
of
If he
talking to
wanted
you.
to be like, hold, freeze, put your hands where I could see him, it could have
Absolutely.
got ugly right then and there. So
So
this
now
guy was
technically
really patient.
she's being detained. Like when somebody's giving you a ticket, you're being detained. You know, a ticket is like in lieu of custody. It's like we could arrest you for this offense, but instead we're giving you a ticket, you know, to take care of it. So she had no right to be able to walk away as she did. I want to address a comment that A Lady made, and A Lady just like to get under my skin, man. Oh my God, A Lady, Jesus Christ. But you know I love you. She says, "Do you see how the guy got submissive and feminine? How is it submissive and feminine for this guy to follow the law? How many black brothers and sisters, or brothers rather, we see fighting police officers over the most mundane enforcement and losing their life? The moment a man says, hey, listen, sir, do I have to sign it? If you don't sign it, you go to jail. All right, I'm going to choose to sign it. And then, do you have any questions for me? Nope, it is what it is. The moment a guy actually just follows the law and complies and doesn't act a fool and therefore does not end up arrested or shot or killed is feminine and submissive. That's bonkers, man. Let's keep going.
Strategic. Guess
Yeah.
what? I guess I'm feminine and submissive.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, I guess I am too because
Yeah, I
there's
know,
no
right?
way. I'm already gonna be shook that the
Unbelievable.
cop that rolled up on me. Oh, I'm answering all your questions. Okay, what do I need to do so I can get up out of here?
Yeah,
And I'm
have the arm
embarrassed that I
hanging
done
and
got caught
everything.
in the
Have
park.
the arm hanging and everything. Like, yeah, oh,
Right.
yes, officer.
Unbelievable.
But go on.
All right, let's keep going.
And what's your name?
Officer Brooks.
What's your first name?
I'm not gonna give you my first name.
Okay, and I don't have to sign this, right?
You do have to sign it.
No, I don't.
Okay. Well,
You
like I
see
explained to him,
this?
if you don't sign it, then you're gonna be physically taken to jail.
Gotcha.
So you refusing to sign?
What's your name?
Officer Brooks, 7452.
What's the badge number?
I gave it to you 2 times, man,
Okay, I'm asking again.
and I'm not giving it to you.
Okay.
Are you gonna sign it?
No, because I want your badge number.
That's fine. You want to put your hands behind your back for me?
No, she got it.
Hey, listen, my man. She said she's not signing it. Put your hands behind your back.
Sir,
Ma'am.
you're hurting me.
Okay. I'm asking you to put your hands behind your back.
Sir,
Put your hands behind your back. Start me over, man.
sir.
Ma'am, put your hand behind your back.
Can you-
Come on.
I need you to back up.
I'm just saying, like,
I need you to back up.
You don't need to touch her like that.
She's not putting her hands behind her back.
I'm asking a
She was
question.
asking for-
Okay.
I'm just all I'm doing is
Put your
asking
hands
a
behind your
question.
back. Put your hands behind
Mr.
you. You're
Brooks.
under arrest. Put your hands behind your back. I asked you to sign the ticket. You told me you're not signing it.
Sir,
Put your hands
I'm
behind your back.
asking you a
Okay?
question.
I'm letting you know. I'm not going to ask you again. I'm going to forcibly put your hands behind your back.
But, sir, Mr. Brooks, is this really necessary? Mr. Brooks.
Hold on. Hey, listen.
She needs to put her.
Can I?
Okay, you can put your phone down.
Okay, Mr. Brooks.
I don't mean to. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people gonna get upset with me, but like the reason why I laugh is because this is what I do for a living, and this happens all the time. Why do people want to get sassy and rude, right? And then the moment a lawful, we're not talking about arrest because your ego is bruised.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not right. And I don't care who's watching this show. I worked internal affairs for almost a decade. I locked up cops. You can't tell me that I don't have, that I don't fight for what is right. You know what I'm saying? But the moment that they now have to face the consequences of their action, it's a 180.
But she
Yep.
chose that though. Like
It's like,
in my
yeah,
head, it's like,
Yo,
but I told you to sign this paper. You said no. Okay, well, guess what? That's like me giving my kids a choice. You want to go to bed early or you want to eat your food? What do you want to do?
yeah.
Oh, you didn't want to eat. So now you going to bed hungry. Like,
you're right.
It's crazy too, man. And it's like now that stuff done hit the fans, now all of a sudden you want to sign the paper. Nah, you had plenty of opportunity,
Right.
and she comes off as a person who is real sassy and like bossy. Like these modern women, a boss chick.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like you can't tell me nothing. So that's why like I don't see how he could have played a role in de-escalating, so to speak, because it seemed like she probably run things between the two of them.
she wouldn't have
Right.
listened.
She probably
would
the one
not
that
have
wears the
listened.
pants. But
Yeah.
the crazy thing is why didn't you take, like, you saw how the man reacted? Why
Right.
didn't you do the same thing? And another thing too, her actions could have made the whole situation toxic where now he's in danger, so to
Right.
speak.
Good
You get
thing
what
he
I'm
was
saying?
smart
So
enough not to be a hero.
exactly.
Because he thought about it, but the officer let him know, yo,
Yeah.
back up, chill.
Mm-hmm.
And in his OODA loop, as we say in the business, his brain process starts spinning like, I'm gonna win this. And you know what's so funny is like A Lady's asking him for his badge number, Mr. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not A Lady. That wasn't A Lady, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this lady's asking Mr. Brooks for his badge number.
Yeah.
And he gave her his name and badge number like 3 times. And she wants his first name. No officer's entitled to give the first name.
'Cause
Even though
that's their
you can
protection.
find that. But no, you can find it. But we're not required to. All right. You can find it. You get my name and my badge, my last name, my badge number. You can find out my name.
But I guess my thing is too is his badge number was so little. You can't remember the 4 numbers the first time he told you. You can't remember it the second time when
being
you went to go
sassy.
get the phone.
Yeah.
She being
So,
sassy. Now
you-
this
And
shit was
she
like a
and,
You had
and
the phone
notice
in your
and
hand, so
notice
why
she
ain't-
and notice
You
she
could
was
have put fingers for anything else. She could have put a finger putting the
and she was
information
taking her
on.
sweet old time too.
right.
Like I'm almost purposely
Right.
doing it,
Because
but yeah.
she thought she had the power, and that's the problem. You know, the funniest thing was said by a police officer to a celebrity that I think every single person needs to understand and realize. And it's not an ego boost. Everything we do on my channel is about educating people so that they can win. Because for so much of my law enforcement career, I was helping people go after corrupt cops. I was bringing them justice when officers violated their rights, all right, in the prison system. What's the name of this lady? She's an African actress. She's very popular. She was in Star Wars as one of those character creatures. She's very chocolate, bald head, beautiful woman.
Jada Pinkett? No, I'm messing with you.
I can't even remember her name right
I
now.
can't
but
remember the name. It started with an N, the jungle or something like that. No disrespect to her.
I know who you're talking about.
She's
Yeah.
in the car making out with her boyfriend and giving him the sloppy toppy. People call the cops and says, yo, listen, there's a couple. They don't know she's in the jungle lady who won an Academy Award. They're like, yo, there's a couple doing some funky stuff inside of the car and there's little kids running around here. So the cop comes, knocks on the glass, like, yo, what are you guys doing? You know, you guys should go in a hotel room, whatever. Come on. She rolls down the window, so she says, yo, I'm sorry. You know, we're good. We're not drug addicts. We're just regular people. We're sorry. We're leaving. She goes, "Do you know who I am? Do you?"
Nope.
And he said, "It doesn't matter who you are, how much money you are, what starlet you are. Right now, I have more power than you."
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of people didn't like the way that sounded. But when a police officer is acting under lawful authority, under the color of law, he damn right has more power than you.
Facts.
He has the power to take away your freedom. So what sense does it make when this officer, Mr. Brooks, as A Lady put it, let me stop. I'm going to leave you alone, A Lady. When Mr. Brooks is explaining to you that if you don't sign it, you're going to go to jail.
See,
If you sign it, you walk away. She made a choice.
See, what I think is with Miss Juice, because her name is Angel Juice, the woman in the
Right.
video.
Mhm.
What I think is now you have a situation in society now where, like how she's saying, "Oh, you're hurting my arm. I'm gonna, sign the ticket." These are all ploys for them to help build a case so they can turn around and sue.
Right.
And I think that's what a lot of this back talking and stuff comes down to when it comes to people interacting with police officers, because they're like, "Yo, I know the laws and stuff like this." It all comes down to looking for a case, like to make a case. So when they go
Right.
try to sue, it's like, look, see, I wasn't resisting and he was hurting my arms and all of this stuff. I think that's what it comes down to. Everybody's looking for a quick buck or a way to sue, police when they interact with them. I think that's what it honestly come down to, because you see it so many times, so much now.
Mm. All right, let's jump back in this. Let's see what's going on.
Oh my God.
Hold on. Put your hands behind your back.
I'm not saying that I'm refusing to sign the ticket. I'm going to sign the ticket.
You don't have an option now.
Because but I'm going to sign the ticket, Mr. Brooks. I'm going to sign the ticket. I'm going to sign the ticket.
No, I'm not here to play games with you.
I know, but I'm going to sign I'm going to sign the ticket. Why am I
You're actively resisting.
I'm asking you, why am I putting my hands behind my back?
You're under arrest.
I'm going to sign the ticket, but why am I under arrest? Why am I under arrest? I'm going to sign the ticket. I'm going to sign the ticket, Mr. Brooks.
That's all it is.
I'm going to sign the ticket.
I asked you to sign the ticket. You told me you're not signing
I'm going to sign the ticket now. Mr. Brooks, I'm going
You
to
don't
sign
have
the
that
ticket.
option now.
Why don't I have the option,
Because I
Mr.
gave
Brooks?
you 2 options.
She was asking for your badge number.
I'm asking for your badge number, and I was.
All right, real quick, 2 things. One, she's clearly resisting arrest.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, and a lot of people don't understand that. If you don't put your hands behind your back, you are resisting arrest. An officer can now use one level of force above the resistance that you're given to get you to comply. And for the people in the chat, the name of the actress is Danielle Watts. She is African, but she doesn't have an African name. I apologize. Her name is Danielle Watts, and she was having sex with her boyfriend by the name of Brian Lucas in a car. And it was in a Mercedes-Benz and LAPD. I looked it up. LAPD is the one that stopped them. And they said that it was racist and all that until it came out that they were actually having sex in the car. And then the story, of course, died down because people realized that this actress was in the wrong.
That woman in the video, she's literally going to be like, giving you my arm.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. She's literally going to say, so yeah, it's resisting 100%.
All right. Well, let's see what's happening.
Oh my God, sir, Mr. Brooks, I'm telling you that I'm going to sign the ticket.
Put your hands behind your back.
I'm going to sign the ticket, Mr. Brooks. I'm going to sign the ticket. Why am I being arrested? Can you please tell me why I'm being arrested? Oh my God! I'm so scared. My God, please, in the name of Jesus, please, God, in the name. Why am I being arrested, Mr. Brooks?
I am here, my child. You called upon me. Jesus.
I'm going to sign the ticket. Mr. Brooks, why am I being arrested? Why am I being arrested? I don't understand why I'm being arrested. Can you please tell me why I'm being arrested?
Turn around and put your hands behind
Can
your
you
back.
tell me why I'm being arrested? I have the right. I have the right to know. Oh my God.
Put your hands behind your back.
Oh
Stop
my
resisting.
God.
Oh, shoot, we got the spinny. While that's loading up, why would a woman put herself in that position? Like a lady. Like, why would you want to be rolling around on the ground with the cops in a a cocktail dress.
First of all, I got on
I
a
don't.
dress and heels. There's
Yeah.
no way. Dress and
Come
heels.
on,
Here's
man.
my hands right now. Just come on, because I'm.
All
First of all, you about to break my shoe. We about to have a whole problem.
all this could have been avoided if you just signed the citation.
Yeah,
After you signed it, all the questions that you wanted to ask, you could have asked it then.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if she had signed it, he'd have left. It'd have been
Yeah,
over
well,
with, you know.
and that's the thing. Like, even if you're in a back and forth banter with the police officer, once he write that ticket or citation, it's out of
Mhm.
his hands.
Yeah,
Now you got to take that up with the court.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, what is the
Mhm.
back and forth banter going to do? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, but my thing is, why are you starting to cry now? No, why are we crying now?
Right.
Because
You had
when-
all that mouth before you hit that ground. Now you want to cry?
because people put women tears on a high echelon as
You
far
had the
as like,
choice. This is
Right.
your choice. You said no. Turn over and get these cuffs so
Yeah,
we can go about my business.
He's showing a lot of restraint, by the way. The
Yes.
fact that she's laying on her back, he could easily bring her around, use, force that could definitely get her to comply, but he's really trying not to give her the business, man. And that should be noted. Let's keep going.
You tell me why I'm being arrested. I have the right. I have the right to know. Oh my God!
Put your hands behind your back. Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
What are you taking her for?
I didn't take it.
Why are you pulling it out?
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
Come on, sir. This is unnecessary. What are you doing? This is over.
Just put your hands behind your back.
I don't understand why I'm being arrested. That's why I'm not putting my hands.
He told you already.
Giving me a reason.
physically
So why am I
resisting.
getting? I'm not. You didn't haven't told me my rights or told me why I'm being arrested. That's exactly why I'm not putting my hands on my back. God, please. Oh my God!
Give me your hands.
Oh my God! I don't understand why I'm not being arrested. I don't understand. Please, sir, you have not told me why I'm being arrested. That's why I have not put my hands behind my back. You have not told me, or you have not read me my rights or anything.
All right, so she's preaching a few things I need to debunk. Number one, police do not have to tell you your rights, whatever that means. I mean, if she means read you your rights, like your Miranda rights, you don't have to tell you somebody Miranda. The only time you have to tell somebody Miranda is if you're arresting them in his custody and you're going to question them. I've read Miranda one time and I have a lot of arrests.
Oh wow. Okay.
More than the average, because I'm not questioning you. I don't need to question you about anything. If I'm responding to a domestic violence and I go to the person who called the cops to say, yeah, I'm the civilian witness, and look, I got a black eye, he punched me in my eye, I don't need to ask you anything. I mean, I'll ask you your side of the story if you want to make a complaint to me, but you're telling me like an excited utterance. I'm not, I'm putting you in cuffs and taking you away. If I come to the store and loss prevention has you in handcuffs and said you stole these items and here are the items and here's the receipt for them, not the receipt that the person bought it, they stole it, but like a itemization receipt, I don't need to speak to you about anything. So I'm not reading your rights. I'm just putting you in cuffs, taking you to jail, and I'm going to tell the DA, I was informed by this store clerk that you stole because I didn't see it. Like, you don't have to read somebody their rights unless you're going. You know who reads people their rights a million times? Detectives. Because they're questioning you and they're doing an investigation. Cops don't read you your right because they're not investigating 90% of the time. They're literally reacting to crimes in progress where there are witnesses that they'll get the information from. They don't need to convince you to tell on yourself and give a confession. They got people who witnessed you. That's why they're able to arrest you. The other thing is, cops don't have to tell you why you're being arrested. You only have to tell somebody. It's good practice to do it, but in exigent circumstances, you don't have to tell them. One of those exigent circumstances is if you're resisting, I don't have to tell you shit because you're resisting. Now, I have to explain something if I come up to you and like, yo, you're under arrest, and you're like, okay, I don't want no problems. I don't know why I'm being arrested, but here's my hands, and you're cooperating. Then I do owe you an explanation as to listen, the reason why we're making you arrest because somebody made an allegation against you. Somebody said you stole somebody said you assaulted them, whatever. But if you're fighting me, I don't have to. But all of that is irrelevant here because he told her why she was arrested. He gave her the choice. He said, if you don't sign the paper, you get arrested. He said it like 6 times and she acknowledged it. And the last time she said, no, I'm not signing it because you don't want to give me your name, a name that he had given her 2 to 3 times prior.
Mm-hmm.
So she knew why she was being arrested. So therefore, there's no rule, regulation, or law that says you have to keep on explaining to somebody why they're arrested after you've already told them why they're arrested. You guys got anything?
Facts. Nah, I didn't realize that was the part where you had like the reason why you had to. I thought it was like if you did like a murder crime or something like that, then you gotta read them their Miranda rights. But I didn't know you didn't have to unless you was gonna question them. So yeah, that's very informative.
You got to read Miranda. It doesn't matter what level of crime it is. If you suspect the person has done something wrong, you have to read a Miranda. So if they're a victim or complainant, you don't have to read Miranda because they're telling you about somebody else's crime. But the moment you think that this person is involved in a crime, even in the slightest, you have to read the Miranda. But as I explained to you before, most instances that police officers, beat officers, patrol officers, most of their instances that they arrest people do not require you to read somebody Miranda because you've got other people telling you what they did.
Got you.
All right. All right, let's keep going.
Steady doing this to me. I don't understand. Can you please just tell me why I've been arrested? That's all I'm asking.
I just told you.
Why?
You refused to sign the ticket.
I did not. I told you I was going to sign the ticket, Mr. Brooks. I told you I was going to sign the ticket.
No, you didn't.
Can I please sign the ticket?
Put your hands behind your back.
Now she's begging to sign it.
Put your hands behind your back, man.
I'm going to sign the ticket, Mr. Brooks. I will sign the ticket, please.
Now, put your hands behind your back.
Why you? I don't understand.
Put your hands.
So this is my issue with this is accountability, man. She has no accountability for her actions. She just totally forgets, and she's lying, saying, I told you I will. No, you didn't. You never said you was going to sign it.
You know what? She said it right before he put that cuff on. That's what it was.
Too late.
When he said turn around, that's what she was like, but I said I was going to sign it.
You know what? That's the actions that my son do, man. Like when it's like, hey, you about to go to bed because of such and such. No, I'm going to do it now. Nah, you had the opportunity to do it and you didn't, so take your butt to bed. Like that's how.
But notice the example you're giving. That's children. That's the time for them to learn that. Why do we have so many adults walking around with that same childlike mentality where they don't know right from wrong? I don't get it.
Because people don't hold them accountable.
Accountability.
It really is that losing my words. But it's because people don't hold themselves accountable. It's because people, when they were growing up, didn't hold them accountable for their actions. And that's realistically the world that we're in right now. You have more and more young adults into older adults because you got older adults that do it too.
Right.
It's just they feel that they could do what they want and then there's no consequence. And now she done learned there is a consequence to your act.
You gonna learn today.
All right, so a few more minutes and then we'll cut it out because the rest of it, like the sergeants come and they just stand around talking about it. But we'll watch it until backup comes and they actually get her under control.
Got you.
Hands behind your back.
You're handling me.
Put your hands behind your back.
God, please.
Put your hands behind your back.
You're hurting me. You are hurting me.
Okay, put your hands behind your back.
I told you I'm not putting my hands. You have not told me or read me my rights. You have not done any of that. You're not telling me why I'm going to jail. Please, God.
Put your hands behind your back.
Please, God. Please. Mr. Brooks, tell me why I'm being arrested. Ow! You're hurting me. You are hurting me.
Stop resisting. Come
I'm
on.
trying to tell you what. Ow! You are, Mr. Brooks, you are hurting my arm.
Come on, man.
Oh my God! Is this real?
Go now, move. Code 4063.
Here's my thing. At the end of the day, you were going to get arrested. Why would you just make it so much harder on yourself? Because it's like, I guess my thing is, what was her end goal? Because at the end of the day, you're not leaving the scene out of the cuffs. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, at the end of the day, what was the point of all of this? That's
I
what I'm not
mean,
understanding.
I think that there is no point. I don't even think, I mean, she's suing now, but I don't think that she was thinking, I'm going to sue. I think it's just that level of ignorance and unaccountability that exists in certain spheres. And some people are saying, you know, those cops, she's strong and those cops need to learn self defense. I assure you that they were holding back.
Oh, yes.
They
You
didn't
can't.
want to hurt her.
I'm gonna say you can't tell me the first cop that was. First of all, he was towering over her.
Yeah.
He could have flipped her over in an instant, but she was also on concrete. And if he would have
Yeah.
did that, I felt like it would have been worse.
Right.
Here's
But
my
he
question.
should have.
If she walked away, before you ask your question, I just want
Yeah.
to make this statement. If she walked away with bruises, swollen, broken arms, the first thing people are going to say, all of that over a citation for staying in the park too late. These cops are not dumb. This is Atlanta. This is Rashard Brooks town.
Yeah.
All right. They saw what happened to Officer Garrett Wolf. They saw how he was charged. They saw what happened to those officers who tasered those college students. They were charged with like attempt murder and all that bull crap. This is they know where they're policing. So yeah, they're gonna arrest her. They're not gonna not do their job. They're not gonna let her punk them out. But they're gonna take the time and bring her down. He's gonna gently try and handle her. That's what I'm thinking. There's no way in hell because there was no true countermeasures except for her physically resisting.
Yeah.
She wasn't fighting back. It's not like they lost a fist fight. It was just her going like this, easily defeated. That's it, easily defeated. But if you defeat it quickly, you can hurt somebody. Go ahead, Matt. Let me hear what you got to
Yeah.
say, bro.
I guess you kind of answered it because, yo, they showed a lot of patience because, yo, for me, I think my patience would have ran thin if I was that officer. But, yo, they showed a lot of patience with her. Like, so hats off to them, man, because,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
If I was that officer, I think y'all would have had to write me up because she was doing the most.
Yo, that's
I
what I'm
really
saying.
do.
He
I
has
feel
a
like
lot
I've
of
either flipped her over,
That's why I said I
but on the
would have
flip
lost
side
it.
is it's like I get it. I'm gonna have to. You got to pay attention to where I work, and I know I have to have kid gloves on, but you can't tell me he was not irritated
What?
because I'm sitting here watching this video going, "Oh my god, you doing the most."
Right.
So, T, you ever been in a situation like that, like to the extent of her, that woman?
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago. This was kind of weird. This one's weird. First, before I tell you the quick story,
Uh,
a lot of people saying, you know, martial arts. I'm gonna go back to that one time because it came out again in the chat. There are a lot of police departments where you cannot use unapproved martial arts moves because it's about liability. Everybody thinks that every cop should know the Brazilian jiu-jitsu and the Russian Kakra Khan or whatever. I'm saying the name all messed up and all this stuff. But if you do these things on people and you hurt them, you break their arm, you whatever, you cause serious physical injury, you're going to get sued and you may not get covered because that is not an authorized move that's taught to you in the academy. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. And a lot of cops don't push back on that. There are some departments who don't give a damn what you do, especially those down south joints. Everybody got a different uniform on. People got military gear. They got chest carriers and all kinds of stuff. They let them do lasers on their guns and flashlights on their gun. Get it. But big departments on the East and the West Coast and Miami and all these major departments that don't have 10 people, you have to follow the guidelines. You have to do what they teach you to do if you want to be covered legally. Because you may not even get fired, you may not even get criminally charged, but they may not indemnify you. And now when you're getting sued in civil court, you got to defend yourself because your department is like, Yeah, we didn't teach you to do that. You did that move on your own. You got to defend yourself.
Got you.
So about this story, real quick, it was really messy because we got a call that there was a domestic violence situation. When I got there, and a young lady I was working with at the time, we saw a guy bloody, and then so he's like, "Yo, my girlfriend hit me," and at the same time, and the girl, and then people were like, "No, he was hitting the girl," and at the same time that we're just trying to figure it out because there's no more fighting right now. It's just us trying to figure it out. Some lady is trying to rob the store. They were fighting in the store, and it spilled outside, but he's outside. His girlfriend, who he's fighting, is inside, and then some lady tries to rob the store with a knife.
Wow.
Not knowing that we're outside, just coming on scene, and I'm talking to the guy. So as I'm doing that, the store's like, "Yo, this lady trying to rob us. She got a knife." So then I'm fighting with her. He skates off. So the original call, which is the DV, they broke out. And so she it's a little different because that lady, we got the knife from her relatively quickly, but she was fighting. And so now the crowd is surrounded, but I think people kind of like, oh, she was trying to do that. They weren't on their usual fuck the police. What are they doing to her? They saw that she was trying to rob the spot, but it's still, I was very cognizant of that. And so I wasn't going all out. Because if you got a robbery and you're resisting, I'm punching you in your face or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to punch you in your solar plex, punch you in your ribs, trying to loosen you up to get those hands behind your back. I'm not doing none of that because, I'm like, it's a new policing and all these people watching.
Yeah.
Why are you punching a woman? She's just not a woman. It's a perp.
Facts.
It's a person that's capable of doing anything. And my job is to get them into custody. And punching them is one of the safest way for me and them, if the circumstance warrants, to get them into custody. It's better than tasering them. They might have a heart problem for all I know. And I taser them, they die. It's better than pepper spraying them. I might incapacitate myself if I pepper spray. And now I can't see either. Now I'm a victim. Baton, or God, you already know. You club somebody with a stick, anything can happen. We've had instances where officers are aiming for somebody's side and the person moved their head and now they get clobbered in their head and now they're brain damaged or they're dead. Punching is the least. That's why departments love when you punch, but the public doesn't like when you punch. But departments are looking at it like, yes, punch, because it's the least thing you could do to hurt somebody. So it is, but of course you can't punch somebody who's passively resisting. That's evil. You'll get fired for that. And passive resistance is like protesters who are like, I'm not moving.
Yeah.
You can't punch somebody, get compliance if they're doing that. All right, my fault.
Which I don't get to, because even though the public is around, right? What if let's just say for the sake of argument, what if she would have got away and as she's running away, she runs into somebody and the person she run into, she happened to stab in the stomach or something. You get what I'm saying? So it's like those actions could have basically just protected the community, so to speak. But yet you guys are looking at it as, oh, so why are you punching a woman? Not saying that's what happened, but if you would have punched her or something, this, oh, why are you punching the woman and yada yada? Like, did you just not witness this woman rob the store? Like, are y'all oblivious to that? But what do I know?
I mean, that happened before too. There was a guy that was walking down the street randomly punching women in the face. Randomly. We're just getting calls. So we track him down from his victims. Like they're not following him. So we track him down for every new victim. Like, oh my God, I just got punched in my face. I'm here. Oh my God, I just got punched in my face with some crazy guy. I'm here. And finally we catch up to the guy. He goes into a store and he fights. Now he finally fights a guy, the security guard at the store. And the security guard beat Jesus out of him. And so now we get the call and we come and we're trying to figure out what's going on. Do we have separate instances? Or is this all one and the same with the guy who's punching people walking down the street? And the crowd formed, and he's, belligerent. His face is all busted up from what the security guard did to him.
Yeah.
And they're like, just ragging on us. Oh, F you guys, da-da-da-da. And getting medical attention. Like, we already called for medical attention. And then what made the crowd turn on is he threw a water bottle at me. Like there's like, he's thirsty, and we're like, we already went to get him something to drink, and my boss comes out with a bottle of water, gives it to me, I give it to him. He goes, "This is not cold," and throws it at me. So it bounces right off of me, and listen, I know when to act, when not to act. So
yeah.
they see it bounce, they're like, oh, and then they're like, nah, mean, you doing too much," and then they walked away. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. But like they were supporting this guy, and they didn't even know that this guy has assaulted like 6 different women before he finally got stopped. Unrelated. That security guard didn't know what he did. He just came in there trying to hurt people, and then the security guard beat the shit out of him. Like, you know, those women could have been your mother, but whatever.
Exactly. I
We'll
tell
finish
you,
it
man,
up.
the hate for police is just real, where people have unrealistic or just have I don't want to say tarnished way of thinking, but just like so far fetched and so out there that even
Right.
when the facts and evidence is staring them in the face, they still want to turn a blind eye to it.
Absolutely.
It's bananas. Yeah.
I think it's just that brainwashing from mass media. You know, people are telling the populace not to trust police officers. You know, there are bad cops out there. I think a lot of these issues are our fault. It's literally society's fault. We did that. You know, we have lowered the bar for becoming a police officer in so many cities across the country. You know, because of the hiring problem in big departments like the New York City Police Department, they've now taken away the fitness criteria. So now you don't have to be fit to become a cop. Why? Because they can't hire anybody.
Wow.
You know, and the pay is low, so it's not a very demanding job for folks. You know, it's like we're constantly doing that. So many departments around the country, you just need a high school diploma or a GED. There's no knock to people who have those things, but we would not say that that's okay if you're talking about a doctor or a lawyer. You expect that if you want to go into that field, you have those type of qualifications. So why can't we expect that our police officers are intelligent? You know, or not rather intelligent, because you cannot have a high school diploma and still be intelligent, but expect that they're trained, that they go to school for criminal justice or something like that. They actually know what they're talking about when they're on the streets. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people don't realize it's a police officer that's determining if you're breaking the law before the district attorney gets involved and your defense attorney. It's solely that police officer that's applying the law. That same law that somebody has to go to school for 8 years to be able to certify to practice. That police officer with a GED or a high school diploma, they're determining at that moment if you broke that law, and then they're taking your freedom away. And what they took away in a second, if you're innocent, it might take your defense attorney with 8 years of education months to years to prove that you didn't do it. If they can, because you might get convicted of something you didn't do. So why would we set the bar so low for the person who has the most important function in the criminal justice system, which is basically to start the whole system? There is no system without the cops. Crazy.
Yeah,
But
that's
they
true.
do that because people don't want to do that kind of job, unfortunately.
If we made it a job that was desirable, where you paid people a good wage, people will come to it. They'll come to it. Just like how there's people who are willing to stand on iron beams 500 feet in the air building skyscrapers and they with no harness on.
Oh, because they make money.
They get there.
They getting that money.
I'm doing this balance beam for $75 an hour. Guess
Matter
what?
of fact,
You know?
I looked up one of these jobs. This guy, all he had to do was change a light. But the problem is you had to go up a oil drum and had to go up stories.
Yeah.
That dude only did that a couple times a year. 100K. 100K
Bananas.
easy.
Yeah.
Because but you had to be somebody who was not, don't have a fear gene.
Right.
Because there was no harness that was going to take you all the way up.
Right.
And you had to be careful. So it was like, all right, you take a couple steps. All right, let me hook on. Let me take a couple more. Let me hook on. But you have those kind of jobs because people like me not going to do them.
Yeah,
and you pay those folks. It's like the bridge painters for the George Washington Bridge. I was reading up on that. So high up, only a few people are willing to do it or able to do it. They get paid bananas money, and by the time they paint the other side all the way to the other side of the span, they gotta start painting again. It take like 2 years to paint the whole thing. So by the time you get there, the old paint, the first paint that you painted at the other end, needs another touch up now. So now you got to
Hey,
come back on the other
them,
side. You know?
that dude will always have a job.
Exactly. So but those guys get paid. We got cops in, especially in these down south cities and towns, that got the same crime as in big cities, and they're making $30,000-$40,000 a year. It's fucking bananas, man. Bananas. I don't understand it.
I want to say they be
It's what
mad,
it is.
but you talking the managers at fast food restaurants make more than some of them. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we wrap it up, what do you guys think about that video?
As far as that video for that woman, man, I don't think she should get a dime with her trying to sue. I think she got what she pretty much deserved. Um, all you had to do, everything could have been avoided if you would have just signed the citation. It was just a citation for like a town ordinance, so to speak. It wasn't nothing criminal, nothing against your record, nothing. It was just, hey, and if you felt you was wrong, you could have took it to court and see if you could get it thrown out. So the guy, as far as the guy, he handled it like a chief. As far as like when the guy wrote up the site, when the police officer wrote up the citation for him, I feel she should have followed his lead. But like I said, clearly in the relationship, she wore the pants, so she walked to her own,
Mhm.
her own beat, so to speak. So she got what she deserves. And like I said, I hope she don't get a dime. And I hope there's a lesson too to people to not do the actions that this woman did, so to speak. So citation, sign it, take it to court, fight it. That's your recourse. That's
Right.
how I look at it.
What's up
look,
with you, Eric?
with me, this is foolery at its best. You had two options. You made your choice. I don't understand when it went to the fact that you said you wasn't gonna sign. You ain't just stand there and put your hands behind your back. Now I got to roll over the floor. Now I got to wait for other cops to come. No. And this was what, on the 8th? That was what, on Monday? Okay. Now you go. At least you only sitting there a day. Imagine if this was on the weekend. You're gonna have to sit there a little bit longer, and I'm gonna be upset. But no, I feel like she one should not get anything. I don't feel like who you suing? Because at this point it was you made your choice. Now you have to live with the choice that you made. One.
Right.
Two, this is an accountability issue. People need to start really being held accountable for their actions. The crying, you can miss me with that because you only did that after you was Miss Attitudey.
Mhm.
You'd asked that officer his name multiple times, his badge number multiple times. At what point do you stop? And I think that was the biggest issue that I had. You'd have walked away the first time because you done went to the car. You could have put my life in danger at that point. So you're doing too much. And I don't care if you know the law, don't know the law, what have you. You sign? No sign? Hands behind your back so I can keep it moving. This is too much time and too much paperwork that I had to deal with you at this point.
Mm.
Well, I heard that she's suing. I think we covered. I think one
Yeah.
of you guys said it, right?
Yeah, she's suing. Yep.
The good thing is that the Atlanta PD is backing the officer 100%.
Okay.
They said that they saw nothing wrong. That he used a reasonable amount of force, and everything he did is in line with their policy. Another good thing is that there were very prominent blue check people on Twitter who were lambasting this police officer and the department when the edited video was first released. But afterwards, many of those people, some of them, I forgot their names because I don't really watch a lot of reality TV stuff and like blue check folks. 99.9% of them retracted and said, "Hey, listen, she should have just cooperate. This new video changed everything for me." There was one person who was calling the officer a coon and all that stuff, and they said, "Listen, she's wrong, but I still feel like he used a little bit too much force, but I do acknowledge that she's wrong and that it's not what I thought it was." And that's big, especially for the folks that are about that life calling other black people coons and stuff like that. The fact that because we all know that when these folks find out they're wrong, 9 times out of 10 they do not admit it. They just pretend like they never heard the truth. So the fact that the person at least was able to say, "Yeah, she was wrong, but
Mhm.
I'll take that but because that but means progress to me." You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Oh, just to clarify what Hamrock Camping said. He said, has this channel addressed the Dr. Ursula Ore arrest? And also, was somebody else he said?
He said,
Ayana Rollins.
Ayana Rollins. I
Ayala,
did a whole video
yeah.
on Ayana
Okay.
Rollins.
Okay.
I don't know about this Dr.
Yeah.
Ursula. What is that?
But it's saying it was the battle isn't the New York Times, Phoenix New Times says the battle isn't over between ASU professor and cop who arrested her back in 2014. So I guess it's something going on. Arizona State University professor.
Did they give like a synopsis on what happened?
Let me see. Former campus who abused. It says an Arizona State University professor whose videotape arrest in 2014 stirred national outrage now says the former campus cop who abused her is harassing people in his new job as Pinal County deputy.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd have to do some research
Yeah,
on that.
yeah, me too. So I'll look into that. Yeah, Hamrock Camping be coming up with some great video topics. Definitely anything you want us to cover on the channel, Hamrock, definitely shoot an email and we'll definitely look into that. So
absolutely. Yeah, Strategic Eyes Show too. Send it to me at Strategic Eyes with a Z
Yes.
at gmail.com.
Definitely.
And you definitely actually scrolling out. It's the same email that I use for my PayPal. So scroll on the bottom of the screen. I also want to say we spoke about domestic violence and we spoke about suicide on the channel. You can find the suicide awareness hotline scrolling on the bottom of your screen, as well as the domestic violence hotline that was scrolled a little bit earlier in the show. And you guys got anything else?
Nah, man, I'm just gonna take this little nap before I start my early morning shift. But this was definitely a great conversation, man. It was long overdue. This collaboration, and to the next collaboration with Rex Wu, baby.
Yeah, definitely. It's a pleasure. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming through, Erica. It's nice to talk with you.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm gonna have to come back. I had some fun.
All right. Appreciate that. You guys want to pitch the channel before you go?
Yeah, definitely. Check us out. Matter of Opinion. Show where we debate on different news topics. And when we debate, like we go at each other pretty much. No pun intended. Yeah. At it. We try and cover as much current news and hot topics as possible. Since time, like with work scheduling, it's been hard pumping out content, but don't worry, the content will be coming out consistently. At least with that.
Awesome. Great. All right, guys. You all know I'm your friendly neighborhood Strategic Eyes. I appreciate you guys for joining me again. Consider becoming a Strategic Eyes member on the other channel. You can't do it on this channel, unfortunately. This is the backup channel. So make sure that you're watching the Mad Opinion Show. You subscribe to my channel. And if you're watching my channel, subscribe to Mad Opinions channel. Show that love. But make sure you're a part of this backup channel as well, because YouTube likes to shut down people who speak real facts. Right? Not that bullshit YouTube facts, but real facts. They like to shut us down and put us in the doghouse every now and then. So, guys, I appreciate you immensely for supporting me. I'm out of here. Matt is out of here.
Peace. Love you.